Every morning you wake, check your phone, scroll, and tell yourself you choose. You pick what to watch, what to buy, who to follow. But what if those choices were written long before you ever touched the screen? Aldous Huxley saw this coming. He warned that freedom would not vanish under chains. It would dissolve beneath comfort. The most effective control is not pain, he said. It is pleasure. When people learn to love their servitude, no revolution is required. Today we call it progress. We call it convenience. We call it entertainment. Behind smiling faces and bright screens hides the system Huxley imagined nearly a century ago. A system that keeps men quiet, busy, and comfortable enough to stop asking why. You are not buying freedom. You are paying monthly for your chains. Every subscription, every auto-renew, every endless scroll is a small dose of soma, a comfort that dulls resistance, a pleasure that makes obedience feel like choice. In the minutes ahead, we will unpack Huxley's hidden playbook, step by step. We will see how convenience became the new drug and how to reclaim what was taken. Aldous Huxley was not a conspiracy theorist. He was a visionary, a man who looked at the direction of science, media, and human desire and saw where it would lead. In 1932, he published Brave New World. On the surface, it was fiction, but beneath the story was a warning, a blueprint of how freedom could die, not by oppression, but by seduction. In his world, people were not forced into submission. They were lulled into it, with comfort, entertainment, and a little pill called soma. It kept them happy, distracted, and loyal to the system that owned them. Years later, in Brave New World Revisited, Huxley looked around and said, "It's already happening." The tools had changed, but the outcome was the same. A society addicted to ease, terrified of discomfort, and blind to its own submission. "They will love their servitude," he wrote, and that line captures everything about our time. Today, we don't need police states to keep people in line. We have convenience, we have entertainment, we have pleasure. Huxley's message was simple. Control does not always look like control. Sometimes it looks like choice. It looks like freedom, until one day you realize the cage is comfortable and you built it yourself. He wasn't describing some distant future. He was describing us. Every like, every click, every one more episode is a small echo of Huxley's world. He showed us the formula. Comfort replaces challenge, pleasure replaces purpose, and soon, freedom is only a word we use to describe our cage. Aldous Huxley didn't write a fantasy. He wrote a manual. And today, we'll open it, starting with step 1, how comfort became the modern drug. Huxley called it soma, a pill that kept a population calm, cheerful, and obedient. No pain, no protest, just a steady stream of pleasure that made rebellion seem unnecessary. The genius of soma was not biology alone. It was psychology. Soma did not break people by force. It softened them by design. When pain is removed, urgency fades. When urgency fades, ambition thins. When ambition thins, people accept the rules that remain. That sequence is the heart of Huxley's warning. Today, soma looks different. It comes dressed as convenience. It arrives as a notification, a delivery, a suggested video that plays itself. It arrives as a subscription that renews without thought. Each convenience is a small removal of friction. Each removal is a small reduction in the practice of enduring discomfort. Think of friction as a training ground. Friction forces discipline. Friction builds tolerance. Remove that training ground slowly, and no one notices until tolerance is gone. Men who rarely face resistance lose the muscles needed to lead. They lose the patience to finish hard projects. They lose the will to bear responsibility. Every tap, every click is a tiny dose, a push, a nudge toward ease. The brain learns fast. It seeks reward. It remembers what worked. Convenience becomes habit. Habit becomes expectation. Expectation becomes a new baseline. What used to be a luxury shifts into a right, and rights are defended. This is not dramatic speculation. It is observable pattern. People binge watch instead of study. They choose comfort over challenge. They defer hard conversations, hard work, and hard sacrifices in favor of small pleasures. The practical result is predictable. Fewer men build things that last. Fewer men take the risks that create leadership. Huxley predicted a culture that prefers mild happiness to meaningful struggle. He called it stability through satisfaction. He imagined citizens who were content enough to stop asking hard questions. That is the modern risk. Convenience removes the reason to resist. The trap tightens not with chains, but with habits. And habits once established are astonishingly hard to break. A subscription can be canceled, a stream can be paused, but the slow erosion of endurance requires work to restore. It takes repeated choices against ease. It takes deliberate discomfort. If you want to measure how deeply soma of convenience has affected you, watch where you spend your attention. Count the times you choose the easy option. Track the moments you trade patience for speed. Each instance is a tiny concession. Add them up. The sum is a life. Subscriptions pile up like rent receipts. Each auto-renew is a small check you write to keep your cage. The quiet danger is not one purchase, but a steady stream of small concessions that compound. Notice them. Name them. Refuse the easy reflex when it no longer serves your purpose. Next, we will uncover how desires themselves are designed. Start today. Huxley warned that the greatest form of control is not taking away what people desire, but shaping what they desire in the first place. In Brave New World, citizens were trained from birth to want exactly what the system provided. They were conditioned to crave the roles, products, and pleasures that kept the machine running smoothly. No rebellion, because no one wanted anything the system didn't already sell. That, Huxley said, was the perfect loop. Manufactured want disguised as personal choice. When people believe their cravings are their own, they will defend them with pride. They will call their obedience freedom. Look around today. We have perfected this system. Advertising, social media, and algorithms don't just respond to your wants. They shape them. They study what you linger on, what you envy, what you fear, and feed you more of it, until the boundary between desire and manipulation disappears. You think you buy because you choose, but every impulse has been measured, tested, and sold back to you. The modern soma doesn't dull pain, it scripts passion, and a man whose passions are scripted no longer needs to be controlled. He is already contained. Huxley's insight cuts deeper than marketing. He was describing the psychological handcuffs of pleasure. When you want what the system wants you to want, resistance feels wrong. Saying no feels unnatural. You begin to confuse conformity with contentment. You start to think that buying more means being more. This is why modern slavery is invisible. It doesn't live in factories or fields. It lives in the mind, inside the desires we defend. We have been trained to crave ease, speed, novelty, and applause. The more we chase them, the more predictable we become. Predictable people are easy to rule. Every trend, every upgrade, every flash of envy you feel online is a small lesson in obedience. You are being taught what to value, what to fear missing, what to pursue next. The product changes, but the pattern stays the same. Desire, consume, repeat. Huxley's warning wasn't about losing freedom to tyrants. It was about surrendering it to temptation. He knew that the easiest people to rule are those who believe they are choosing their chains. The next step in his playbook explains how this cycle tightens, how the capture of your attention completes the cage. In Huxley's world, the people were not silenced by force. They were silenced by noise. Endless entertainment, endless distraction, endless stimulation. No one needed to ban ideas when no one had the patience to think. That, he warned, is the final stage of control. Not the destruction of freedom, but its replacement with amusement. Today, that prediction has matured. You carry your soma in your pocket. Every ping, every scroll, every glowing screen is designed to do one thing: hold your attention just long enough to sell it. The market doesn't want your money first. It wants your focus, because once it owns your focus, your money, your vote, your time, and your thoughts all follow. Huxley understood this long before neuroscience could explain it. The human brain releases dopamine not when we get something, but when we expect it. Every notification is a tiny promise, a maybe. That maybe is addictive. It pulls your hand back to the screen hundreds of times a day. Each moment of attention is a transaction. You think you're browsing. In truth, you're being trained. Your instincts, your reactions, even your opinions are being shaped by repetition. The feed learns you, then becomes you. It's a perfect system. You work for free, producing data, reactions, and clicks. They sell that data to predict your next move, your next desire, your next fear. You become predictable. Predictable men are easy to control. Huxley would not have been shocked by algorithms. He would have called them the natural evolution of soma. Pleasure automated, no pills, no doctors, just infinite choice designed to remove the burden of choosing. Every time you open your phone without purpose, you are entering a negotiation. The question is not what you'll learn, it's how much of yourself you'll trade before you leave. The cost of constant distraction is not just time, it's depth, it's willpower, it's clarity. When your attention fragments, your agency fractures. You can't lead, build, or protect what you can't focus on. Huxley wrote, "A society that cannot think deeply cannot stay free." He knew that shallow attention breeds shallow action. A distracted mind doesn't rebel. It entertains itself to death. Look around. Men no longer need to be censored. They censor themselves with screens, feeds, and endless novelty. The leash is invisible, made of impulses, and the more often you check, the tighter it pulls. This is not a call to abandon technology. It's a call to reclaim ownership. Every time you resist the urge to scroll, you reclaim a piece of yourself. Each minute of focus is an act of defiance. Attention is the currency of freedom. Spend it wisely or someone else will. In Huxley's Playbook, this is step 3. Once your attention is owned, your identity is next. Once your attention is captured, the next step is simple. Define who you are. In Brave New World, identity wasn't discovered, it was assigned. People were bred for roles, trained for status, conditioned to fit into a perfect hierarchy. They didn't have to ask who they were because the system already had an answer. Today, that system wears new clothes. It speaks the language of choice, lifestyle, and self-expression. But the goal is the same: to replace self-definition with consumption. You don't build identity anymore, you buy it. Every brand sells a version of you. Every trend whispers, "Be this and you'll belong." The more you buy, the more you reinforce the illusion that belonging is something external. The market gives you images, roles, and ready-made values. And when your sense of self depends on what you own, you become endlessly replaceable. Huxley foresaw this transformation. He wrote that a society obsessed with pleasure would eventually define virtue as appearance. When image becomes everything, substance disappears. The man who could once build, teach, protect, and endure is replaced by a man who curates, posts, and performs. This isn't vanity, it's strategy. If they can turn identity into a marketplace, they can sell you back to yourself. Each purchase promises confidence, power, attraction, but what it delivers is dependency. You keep chasing an upgraded version of the same emptiness. That's how control deepens. Because when a man no longer knows who he is without the things he buys, he will do anything to keep buying. He will obey silently, afraid to lose the image that gives him worth. Huxley's warning was never about clothes or gadgets. It was about meaning. When you rent your identity from the system, you stop building one of your own. The result isn't freedom, it's quiet conformity disguised as choice. They gave you a brand of manhood and a monthly bill to maintain it. Once identity is captured, the final lock is ready to close. The comfort that began as pleasure becomes a rule, a standard, a system you can no longer escape. That's the next step in Huxley's Playbook, when comfort itself becomes institutionalized. Huxley understood that comfort, once normalized, becomes a system. What begins as a luxury turns into an expectation, and what starts as convenience eventually becomes compliance. In Brave New World, comfort wasn't optional, it was law. Every citizen had to be happy. Every emotion that threatened stability was treated like disease. People didn't rebel because discomfort itself was forbidden. When pleasure becomes duty, resistance becomes sin. Today, the structure is quieter, but it works the same way. Modern systems reward comfort, everything frictionless, everything easy. Opting out is costly. Refusing convenience makes you look inefficient, outdated, even suspicious. You don't have to be forced to comply, you just don't want to fall behind. Look at how it's built. Banks, apps, subscriptions, city grids, all designed to save you time. Remember your preferences, renew automatically. It feels like service. It functions like submission. Once convenience becomes infrastructure, saying no becomes rebellion. And rebellion comes with penalties. Missed benefits, slower processes, higher costs. The system doesn't punish you directly. It just makes independence uncomfortable. That's how soft tyranny works. You agree, not because you fear power, but because you fear inconvenience. Huxley warned that this would be the future's masterpiece, an order so efficient that obedience feels like comfort. He wrote that people would demand the very chains that keep them docile, because those chains make life easier. You can see it now. Auto pay, auto play, auto approve. Everything designed to think for you, decide for you, remember for you. The more the system remembers, the less you have to, and slowly you forget how. Freedom fades not in a single act, but in a series of small surrenders. You trade autonomy for convenience, depth for speed, reflection for efficiency, until one day, the cage doesn't need locks. It has customer service. That was Huxley's silent prophecy, a world where control hides inside comfort and people smile while surrendering. But he also saw the final cost, the human cost. Because once comfort becomes the goal, purpose disappears. And when purpose dies, so does freedom. Huxley's final warning was not about technology or politics. It was about what happens inside a man when comfort replaces purpose. In Brave New World, every citizen was happy, but no one was alive. Their pleasures were constant. Their emotions were managed. Their lives were predictable. They laughed, they consumed, they obeyed, and they called it peace. Huxley saw that a society built on pleasure eventually forgets how to suffer, and without suffering, it forgets how to grow. Pain is not just punishment, it's information. It tells you where you are weak, what must change, what is worth fighting for. Remove pain, and you remove direction. Remove struggle, and you remove meaning. Modern man faces the same fate. He has everything that should make him free: comfort, abundance, convenience, but he feels restless, hollow, uncertain. His body moves, but his mind drifts. He fills the silence with noise, the emptiness with distraction. He calls it relaxing, but it's really retreat. Huxley understood that when comfort becomes the goal, courage becomes rare. Men stop building, stop risking, stop leading. They seek safety over strength, entertainment over excellence. They lose the power to endure hardship, and without endurance, there can be no legacy. The tragedy is quiet. It doesn't arrive as collapse. It arrives as boredom. It arrives as a slow decay of spirit, a life too easy to challenge and too soft to matter. You can have comfort or you can have meaning, but not both. Every generation before us paid for growth with struggle. They worked, built, fought, and sacrificed. We inherited their strength, but we are spending it on convenience. If that trade continues, the line ends here. Huxley's message was never despair. It was clarity. He showed what happens when men forget that purpose is forged in discomfort. When you strip away all friction, you strip away greatness. Comfort kills story. Men are remembered for struggle, not for ease. If you want freedom, you must reclaim the right to suffer for something worth it. And that brings us to the final part of Huxley's Playbook, the steps to break free from this invisible slavery and rebuild the strength to live on your own terms. Huxley never preached revolt in the streets. He preached revolt of the mind. He believed the truest rebellion begins when a man reclaims the right to think, to suffer, and to live on his own terms. These are not hacks or habits. They are principles, 7 disciplines for men who refuse to be comfortable slaves. Principle 1. Reclaim thought. The first act of rebellion is to think in silence. Every day, retreat from the noise. 10 minutes of deliberate solitude will do more for your freedom than 10 hours of scrolling. The system survives on your constant reaction. Withdraw it. Huxley wrote that the real enemy of tyranny is reflection, because reflection breeds choice. Principle 2. Confront desire. Do not trust every craving that feels like yours. Question it. Where did it come from? Who profits when you obey it? The modern man is surrounded by desires that are not his own. Huxley saw this as the new slavery, people trained to want what weakens them. Freedom begins when you deny the impulse that flatters you. Principle 3. Practice useful pain. Ease has made us soft. Comfort has made us fragile. Pain, used correctly, rebuilds both body and will. Choose one hardship each day, cold water, hunger, effort, and face it without complaint. The goal is not suffering, it's clarity. Huxley knew that a man who can bear discomfort cannot be easily ruled. Principle 4. Guard attention like territory. Your focus is land. Treat it as something to defend. Set boundaries where you allow no intrusion, no ads, no feeds, no constant noise. Attention, Huxley warned, is the new chain. Guard it as if your freedom depends on it, because it does. Principle 5. Build, don't consume. The system thrives when men only react. Creation is the antidote. Build something that didn't exist yesterday, a skill, a structure, a sentence. Huxley believed that creativity was the purest expression of autonomy. Every act of building weakens the architecture of control. Principle 6. Embrace meaning over mood. Pleasure is fleeting. Purpose endures. Choose meaning even when it feels heavy. The man who seeks constant pleasure is easy to predict. The man who seeks meaning is impossible to control. Huxley warned that pleasure without purpose creates obedience disguised as happiness. Trade mood for mission. Principle 7. Stand among men who resist. Freedom is contagious. Surround yourself with men who refuse to kneel, men who question, build, endure. Brotherhood gives rebellion direction. Huxley feared isolation because lonely men surrender faster. Real companionship turns awareness into strength. These 7 principles are not easy. They're not meant to be. The same system that numbed your instincts will resist every attempt to wake them. But the work is sacred. Every moment of discipline is a declaration that your life belongs to you. You won't escape modern slavery by hating the world. You'll escape it by mastering yourself. You'll think when others distract. You'll build when others consume. You'll stay steady while others scroll themselves to death. Huxley's Playbook was a warning for an age of soft men. Let it now be a manual for strong ones. Because the war for freedom isn't out there. It begins in the smallest decision, to stay awake while everyone else is dreaming. Huxley warned that the future would not chain us. It would soothe us. It would entertain us into obedience. And he was right. The cage of modern life is comfortable, polished, and paid for monthly. But once you see it, you can choose to stop feeding it. You don't need riots or revolutions. You need awareness. You need discipline. You need the courage to say no when the world offers easy comfort in exchange for your will. That's how freedom begins. One decision, one refusal, one act of presence at a time. Audit your attention, challenge your desires, embrace useful pain, build something real, stand with men who do the same. Aldous Huxley wrote the manual for modern slavery. Now you hold the counter manual, the principles of resistance. They taught you to love the cage. They made comfort your god. But comfort is not peace. It's sedation. And the moment you stop mistaking sedation for freedom, that's the moment you wake up.